I'm going to slide the step section down to that mark. Lining up to go down here. Dave here, how are you? Today I'm going to show you how to use a pocket hole jig. First thing, before I get into the technicality and the nuts and bolts of the jig, what is a pocket hole? A pocket hole is a drill hole or a hole that allows me to put a screw in to a piece of timber. Rather than going straight down into the timber, I can tip the drill bit over at an angle, a very shallow angle, to create this hole. Then I can get a screw through that piece of timber into another piece of timber to create a joint. Now this works with a butt joint very well. So here we go. Nuts and bolts. This is the jig right here. Now you'll see there's a few parts to it. There's the guide block, there's the stepped drill with the stop collar, and the clamp and the housing for the guide block. First thing I need to do is I need to work out the thickness of the timber that I'm going to be putting the screw in. Easy to do, it's 32 millimeters, 1.25 inches. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will set up this jig to be 1.25 inches. Now, the Allen key lives on board. Just here, you pull the Allen key out and you can adjust the depth that the drill is going to go into the piece of timber. Now how we do that is on the side here, you'll see, I think you can see that there, there's some measurements down either side of the clamp section, and there's an area here that I just drop the drill into. Now I'm going to loosen off, up the top here, I'm going to loosen that grub screw, and I'm going to slide the actual stepped part of the drill back up until I get to that 1.25 inch mark. So let me just undo this. And you might be able to see it from the side there as I do it. I'm going to slide the step section down to that mark. There it is there. Okay. Now that I've got the correct depth on the drill bit, what that's going to do is it's going to stop the drill going any further than that. Now you might say, well, it's going way past the bottom of that thing, Dave. Okay, brings us to the next part. On the side of the guide block are different lengths marked there in imperial as well. Now 1.25 inches is the depth that I'm going to go to. So I'm going to have that little line there will line up with the top of the guide block. Now you'll notice on the back there's some indents, little holes there. Now they're for this brass thumb screw to go into. So I shall slide it with the metal section facing back towards the clamp. So I'm going to slide that down into there until I get down to 1.25 inches. See that? 1.25 inches there. And tighten her up. And that's gone straight into the indent. So now when the drill goes in, you'll see that it's aiming right at the 1.25 inch mark down the bottom. A lot of people don't realize, but there's an 1.25 inch mark down there as well. So I'm going to take the drill out, pull the clamp back a little bit. You see my clamp's broken, but that's just the way that it happens. Now, my piece of timber. Here's my piece of timber, 1.25 inch thick. I'll put that in there, and I've clamped it. Now so far, that has got to be the easiest thing you could ever do. On the back here, I have 3 holes in the top of the guide block. And that there, in case I want to do just one pocket hole, or if I want to do too far apart or too close together, depending on the thickness of the timber, or the width of the timber that I'm using. This is a little vacuum port. Now you know how I like to keep things clean and tidy. This is one of the secrets. This clips onto the back, like so. Then we put our clamp on. Like so. Not going anywhere. All right. Put the drill bit in the drill chuck. Turn it nice and fast. Hook up the vacuum cleaner. Hook that onto there. Now it's sucking air through there. So as I drill the hole, I'm going to put 2 holes in. So you can see I'm lining up to go down here. Nice and clean, no dust. Down the other side. Beautiful. Release the clamp, and look at that. 2 holes. This is where I'm going to refer back to my screw selector wheel. Inch and a quarter, it says I need a 2-inch screw. Alright, let's go with a 2-inch screw. Now I just buy a whack of screws because I don't want to have to get caught halfway through a job and go, oh geez, I need a wrong size. I've got the wrong size screw here, because you need the right size screw for the particular thickness of timber. Otherwise the screw will go all the way through the joint and come out the other side and ruin it, or it won't be long enough and won't grab, and you've got to make sure you've got the right type of screw for the right type of timber. So these are coarse screws, which are for softwood, MDF and plywood. Fine screws are for hardwood. Now the coarse screws are an 8 gauge, again with that washer head that's, you know, going to pull it in tight. The hardwood ones are 7 gauge, and they're, as I say, they're skinnier. So here we go. Let's put this joint together. Now, before we do, let's have a look at this. I'll just show you something. How easy is this? I'm going to put a line randomly. That's where I normally do something like that when I'm doing a joint, so I can see where it's going to go. So that's where my joint's going to go. There we go, that's going to go to there, so I can just put the joint together. Back this off a touch. Lock it together and get the screw. Remember, there it is, there's the joint. And put the screw in. Done. With the headset, I'll slide the screw in until it goes down that first part of the pilot hole. So what was happening then, the screw has gone all the way in down to there, hit the shoulder, and then I wiggled the screw around a little bit and then it dropped into the pilot hole. So now, square drive, love it. Look at that. What a joint. And it is super strong. Like, amazing. Amazingly strong. And that's a pretty good spot for it to have locked in. Let's see if it's square. You see our combination square on the side. I reckon that's pretty good. Now I'm holding it up to light. Can you see that? Pretty fine. Actually, it'll only be as good as my angle there. Now you can also do these joints on an angle, and I'm going to show you that as well. Let's pull it apart. Because that's the other beauty. You can just pull the joint apart as well. Amazing. With all screws, if you pull them apart and they're in tight, be aware when you take them apart, those screws are going to be warm. A lot of friction as you undo them. It's not a trick. The jig will always put screws in at 90 degrees to the face or to the cut. Let me pop that in there. We'll turn it around that way. And I'm going to set it up like so. I think I'm totally enclosed there, which is good. So there you go. You might say, well, that's a little bit weird, Dave. How's that going to work? All I've done is I've made sure that I've covered the exit point. I haven't got to change the stop on the drill at all because I'm still working with the same thickness material. So here we go. I'm going to, this time, let's have some fun. I'll take the dust port off and you watch watch how much of a mess it is. It's really keeping a tidy shop. It's just a matter of using dust extraction. I'm going to do this without using any dust extraction. You watch the amount of junk that comes out of here. Look how clean my table is now. You watch this. So I'm going to pop that in there. There's one. Okay, granted, that's not a lot of dust, but I'll tell you what, if I was to do 50 or 100 holes, that's going to start building up. There was nothing there before, and after 100 holes, there'll still be nothing, and it's just a matter of using a dust port. It's not hard. All right, take that out of the clamp. Now, the other good thing is, using the dust extraction, it sucks the holes clean at the same time. All right, Now, let's put this one together. Oh, I hate dust. How good is this clamp? Same size screws. I haven't got to change the size of screw. Still a 2-inch screw. Remember, I've got to find that point where I'm into the ridge. Done. That's one. And the other guy. There it is. Beautiful. What a joint. How cool is that? That side, that side. You'll probably turn around now and say, Dave, look at these bloody big holes we've got. What are we going to do with those? Well, we can use our smarts and we can make sure those holes are never seen. Put them onto the outside parts. They're always going to be hidden under a drawer instead of on the top of the drawer. On a drawer front before we actually put the cover over the drawer front, the secondary drawer front, and that hides them all. So you won't see anything from anywhere else. Or if you can't do anything like that, what we can do is use their plugs. Now you can get these in pine or whatever you want, and I think also very soon they'll be releasing a drill that a guide that you can put in that, and it creates your own plugs out of whatever tip you're using, exactly the same piece of wood. So that'll be brilliant. So all you do is you get some glue and you pop these in, glue them in, let it dry, and then you sand it flat. Pretty cool. So there you go. That's the pocket hole jig. There's some other things that I need to tell you about as well. Now regarding the blocks, the guide blocks and the drills, there's 3 different sizes. And they all go in the K4 or the K5 or the K3. The micro, or the tiny little baby one, it's got smaller diameter holes. The HD, which is the heavy duty, has a larger diameter hole than this, and I think it's only got the 2 holes in it, like the 2 guides. And they're for 45mm thick timber, which is, getting up to 1 3/4, close to 2 inches. So if I'm doing some heavier stuff, heavier screws, larger diameter, larger section on this bit just here. Now this part here, I'm just put my hand behind it, that step section there is very important. That increases the surface area for the washer head to get a hold and pull like crazy. How strong is that joint? That is absolutely magic. Now I bet you a lot of people didn't realize you can do a joint like that. I can also do a joint like that straight into the surface. You want to see how that's done? Sure you do. Now, I want to screw that onto there. See that? How do I do that? Well, I'm just going to clamp that to that. All right. Now I'm going to clamp that onto there. There's all sorts of ways you can do this, but I'm just using the Bessie clamp to lock that onto there, and I'm just going to go back to my chart again, and let's turn it over the other way and see where it says A to B. So this is A into B, 1 1/4 to 1 1/4. It still says a 2-inch screw. So we'll use those same screws. Drop that into there. Got him. And then this one, I'll drop a 2-inch screw into there as well. Now, if I was a very good person, I would be setting the clutch. Because I'm up near the high end of the screws, the longer end of the screws, it's really not going to worry too much. But if I was down on around an inch or 1 1/4 screw, I would back the clutch back down to kind of middle to maybe a lower section on my drill. Let's see how it goes. That's it. And there's my joint. Now, from that side, I see things. From this side, I see nothing. Absolutely nothing. But a very strong joint. And all you have to do is use this to work out where you're going to put the pocket holes if you don't want to see them. Just a little bit of forward planning. There you go. Okay, thanks for watching. Keep on coming back. Links in the description box. See you next time. Bye.